So for example 4, we're going to use our calculator to evaluate some logarithms, and log of 900 is the first one. And one thing I forgot to mention until after you guys started the assignment, all of a sudden everybody's like, what does log without a base mean and all this? So log of 900, the problem they're giving us, there's no number written there, it's base 10. On your calculator, you're looking for log. All right, and again, this calculator doesn't have an log button, so let me just highlight here for you guys how we're going to get to that. So we're going to hit the second key, and then we're going to hit the probability key, which right above it says log. You can see log right there above that key. So that's how I'm going to access this. So I'm going to hit the second button, turn it on, hit second, and then that button there. And that brings up my log menu. You can see sort of, kind of there. I don't know if there's a way to make it any brighter. Does that make it any brighter? A little bit. No, maybe. All right. So, but it says LOG-LN up at the top, and it has 1 LOG 2 10 to the power. All right. This little deal here is a cursor deal. This is a tab at the top. So right here we're in the log menu. If we punch over to the right, we're going to be in the natural log menu, which is what ln is. So those are your two things that your calculator has. Any calculator you ever see is going to have either an log and an ln on it. Those are the only logarithms that are on calculators usually. So if you see here, if I press to the right, notice it pops over to ln, and now it's ln parentheses and e to the power. So that's how we're accessing that menu. But again, we're trying to do log of 900, so I get the log. I can either hit the number 1 or hit the enter button while I'm on one. Either way, it'll pop up my screen, log parentheses. Then I'm supposed to enter the number I'm logging, which is 900. I do not have to enter the base. Once I diagnose that this is a base 10 logarithm, and I use my calculator to use log parentheses, my calculator knows I'm talking about a base 10 logarithm. I don't have to put the base 10 on it. And then I put the end parentheses that equals, and then it spits out an answer of 2.954242509. So 2.59424.
It's 9.5.
Is it 9? No,
Yeah.
2.95. So worried about the 424. I forgot about the order of that. 954242509.
We have to write that whole thing.
I want you to write the whole number down, and then it says round to the nearest 10,000. Okay, so going back to the first time you learned about decimals and place value and things like that, when we're counting off our decimal places, if you recall, this is the tenths place, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths. So, and it says nearest 10,000 is asking you to do 4 decimal places. So if you're trying to round it to the 4th decimal place, which is this one, you're going to look at the 5th decimal place to establish what you need to do to the 4th decimal place. Either keep it the same or bump it up 1. If the blue highlighted number is either 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, you're going to keep it where it's at. If it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you're going to bump it up 1. So since the next number up is a 4, we're going to keep it where it's at. So the correct answer to the first problem is going to be 2.9542. And if you recall what that means, if log of 900 base 10 equals this number, if I raise 10 to that power, I should get 900, right? So if you want to make sure you're right on these problems, if you just type in, I can't come over here. If I type in 10 and then hit the power button, which is right here, and then I type in my 2.9542, you can see it is almost 900. We round it so it won't be exactly 900, but again, it should be really close to 900. So again, it's very easy to check. Make sure you did it right. Okay, the next problem is natural log of E. Okay. And natural log is, again, the other base on your calculator. All right, now, if I come here to my log button again, so I hit second log, it brings up my menu. I'm going to bump over to the LN tab, so it's natural log now. I'm going to hit enter. All right, now to get to E, when you enter E on this calculator, I want you to have a power with E. So what power is E being raised to here?
1.
The first power, right? This is E to the first power. And again, ln, just so you know, ln means log base E. That's what it means. But again, calculators use the ln notation. Books usually use the ln notation for log base E. All right? And some of you might be thinking right now, isn't it just 1? Right? Because of what we just did a moment ago, right? If it's log base E of E to the first power equals X, then E to the X equals E to the first, right? E to the X equals E to the first. So the answer is going to be 1. But again, as far as entering our calculator is concerned, I'm going to come back, so I want E to the first power, so I'm going to hit the second button, log again. I'm going to arrow over to the right to get to my log menu, and I'm going to choose E to the power, which is number 2 here. And then I want to put the first power, because you have to put a power, you can't just leave it blank. Then I'm going to put an end parentheses and hit enter, and it spits out the number 1. Obviously 1 is a whole number, so we don't have to round that to the nearest 10,000. It's fine just writing 1. That's the exact right answer. Most of the time these logarithms come out to a decimal answer, but sometimes they come out to an exact. Don't feel like you have to round or add decimal places in that scenario. Okay, our final problem, we'll do this one in purple. Natural log of negative 1.87. So natural log of negative 1.87 equals. So we get on our calculator again, try to do natural log. So I'm going to hit my second log button. So again, the PRB is the log button. We're doing natural log, so I pump over to natural log, so it says natural log highlighted. We're doing natural log, so I pick number 1. And I type in negative 1.87. End parentheses, hit equals. My calculator is going to say domain error. Okay, so let's take a look at this. And why is this a domain error? So when it says domain error, by the way, the answer is empty set. Okay, let's consider why it's empty set. If I say natural log of negative 1.87 equals x, and again, natural log means log base E, right? In essence, what we're asking the calculator to do for us is to say E to the x power equals negative 1.87. Again, anything to a power cannot equal a negative number. Anything to a power cannot equal 0. So we're asking the calculator to find x that makes an expression, an exponential expression, equal a negative number. That number does not exist. Okay, so the empty set. So if you see domain error on your calculator, that simply means you've entered a number that has no answer. So there is no answer. You put an empty set down. Right? So those are the things that could happen with the calculator, with the log problems you have to evaluate with the calculator. It'll be either LOG base 10 or LN base E. You punch in your calculator, hit equals. If it spits out a number, round it into 4 decimal places. If it comes out to a whole number, let it be a whole number. If it comes out domain error, it's going to be does not exist. Those are the things that could happen on the problems that look like that in your homework.
When I did the LN